Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Amanda, aka FitFoodAE, and I make videos on recipes, fitness, nutrition, and the like. In today's video, we're going to be going through 10 nutrition myths, a few of which are more commonly known, but most of them I feel like aren't. Now, a few of these might be deemed controversial, but people tend to be a lot nicer on YouTube than on TikTok, so I'm not too worried. So if you're excited to hear me busting some nutrition myths, please give this video a like and subscribe and share with your friends. So let's go ahead and get started with myth number 1. So the first myth is one of my personal favorites, and it's that regular Coca-Cola is better than Diet Coke. So this is actually a Coke Zero. They revised the label recently to make it look like regular Coca-Cola, which I think is hilarious. I always double check just to make sure I'm picking up the Coke Zero because there was a time where I accidentally picked up the regular one and I ended up dumping it out. So a lot of people are afraid of so-called artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners are deemed safe for most people as long as you consume it in moderate quantities. And by moderate quantities, I mean, not drinking like 10 of them a day. I feel like most people will have max 1 or 2 bottles of these a day. There's no credible evidence that artificial sweeteners cause cancer. Diet soda is especially important for people with diabetes because they cannot drink regular soda or else it will spike their blood sugar. In my opinion, diet soda is great because it could help as a tool to aid with weight loss. If someone is used to drinking multiple cans of soda per day, like the full sugar soda, then cutting that out and drinking diet soda can help them cut out hundreds of calories without even really noticing. And since it doesn't contain sugar, it doesn't contribute to cavities. However, if you drink a ton of diet soda, it can wear away at your tooth enamel, so if you drink it frequently, just consider using a straw. Other than that, I am a diet soda stan. Myth number 2, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It's not. So I personally love breakfast and I eat it every morning, but if you're not hungry in the morning, you don't have to force feed yourself. Making sure that you're getting enough food throughout the day and getting the calories that you need is more important than meal timing. It's important to structure the food around your workouts to make sure you have enough energy. So for example, if you like to work out in the evening, then maybe you eat more of your calories in the end of the day versus if you work out in the morning, then you probably are going to eat breakfast. Your body doesn't have like an internal clock to determine what time it is. So this same sort of logic applies to the myth, don't eat after 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. or whatever that was. Either way, you can eat at whatever time you want, whether it's 12 in the morning, 7 a.m. Like people work night shifts, people work during the day. We all have different schedules. Just do what works best for you. Myth number 3 is that eating smaller and more frequent meals is better for weight loss. And this is false. Obviously, I mean, all the myths in this video are false because that's the point of the video. But anyway, you can eat 6 meals a day or you can do OMAD. It really doesn't matter as long as you're fueling your body adequately. By the way, OMAD is 1 meal a day, and I've seen some people do this on Instagram, and it's crazy, the 2,500 to 3,000 calorie meals that they'll eat in one sitting. Me personally, I love to eat multiple times a day, and I love snacking, whereas my boyfriend only eats twice a day, and he doesn't really like to eat snacks. Unless you're like a pro athlete, meal timing has little to no effect on your metabolism. It's better to do what works best for you and what you think you can stick to. Like, if you have the kind of schedule where making a bunch of small meals is just going to be annoying for you, then just eat a couple of large meals. Especially if you don't work from home and you work a job where you only have a set number of breaks, it could just be annoying to have to eat multiple times throughout the day, and it's better to just eat it in a couple of sittings. For some people, eating smaller meals may prevent them from overeating, but for others, it may just cause them to eat more. So yeah, name of the game, just do what's best for you and what works for your schedule. Myth number 4 holds a special place in my heart, and that is going vegan or vegetarian will help you lose weight. So going vegan or vegetarian, these are elimination diets, meaning that there are less options for you to eat. But that doesn't mean that you're automatically going to eat less food. Really, the only time where I find this applies anyway is if you go to like a potluck or a family gathering or like a buffet. There are just less options for you. And for some people, that might mean that you end up eating less. But for me personally, I just end up filling up more on the options that I can eat. I'm vegetarian, and I know that the majority of people that go vegan or vegetarian do it for other reasons, like for the animals, for the environment, or simply because they just don't really care for meat and they feel like eating animals is just super weird and feels gross. That's personally how I feel, and that's why I went vegetarian. Halfway through at myth number 5, carbs will make you fat. Carbs are used as the body's main source of energy when lifting weights, aka glycogen. So you need carbs in order to be able to perform in the gym. No single macronutrient is going to make you fat, but eating in a large calorie surplus will. In the movies and in TV shows, I find that sometimes the characters are like, oh, I'm gonna cut out carbs, I'm only gonna eat fruits and vegetables. But fruits and vegetables still have carbs. In fact, most foods have carbs, so it makes no sense. Myth number 6, salt is bad for you and you should minimize your sodium intake. If you are generally healthy, meaning you don't suffer from any chronic diseases, you don't really have to worry about your sodium intake. Salty foods may make your body retain water, which might lead to bloating, but that's it. And bloating is completely normal in most cases. Don't eat bland food that's not seasoned thinking it's going to help you lose weight, because that'll just cause you to crave salty fast food and could potentially end up leading to a binge. Same with quote unquote processed foods that are high in sodium. If your diet mainly consists of whole foods, then you don't have to worry about throwing some processed foods in there. What number are we on? 7. Myth number 7 is that doing fasted cardio will help burn fat. Now, there have been studies done on this, but there is really no significant difference from what I've researched. So if you want to do your cardio earlier in the morning before you get hungry, then go for it. If you want to do your cardio after you've eaten so you have energy, then that's totally fine too. I would just recommend maybe not eating a huge meal before you go for a run. In fact, especially if you're doing something that's strenuous, like going for a run or a bike ride, you're not going to be able to put in maximum effort without energy. If you don't have energy from food and you do this cardio and you end up starving after, then that might lead to binging. Again, it's just best not to overcomplicate things and worry about, oh, I need to get my steps in earlier in the day when I haven't eaten. Like, just get your steps in when you can. Myth number 8 is that there is such a thing as negative calorie foods. Now, some of these so-called negative calorie foods that don't exist, by the way, include like celery, carrots, tomatoes. There's no real evidence to support that the digestion of these foods burn more calories than what the foods actually contain. If you like these foods, then by all means eat them. And realistically, if you're just eating a couple stalks of celery, there's really no point of tracking that just because it has minimal calories. But that doesn't mean that it has negative calories and that it's going to help you lose weight or anything. Now, there is something called the thermic effect of feeding, which is the energy that your body uses in order to digest the foods that you eat, but this is based on your overall intake. Myth number 9 is that eating gluten-free is healthier for you. You only need to eat gluten-free if you're celiac or have a gluten intolerance. Otherwise, you're just overcomplicating things. Just because a food is gluten-free, it does not mean it's healthy, but I hope you guys know that. And oftentimes, gluten-free foods are harder to find and more expensive than their regular counterparts, so it's really just not worth it. And we're gonna end off with a bit of a controversial one. Number 10 is that eating organic food is better than conventional. At the end of the day, a regular banana and an organic banana have the same nutritional value, so the organic one isn't healthier for you than the regular one. In my opinion, it's just really not worth the extra money when you can just like wash your produce if needed. I don't think my mom watches these, but if she did, she'd be pretty upset to hear that I don't really wash my produce that often. If you're really particular about it, there is that thing called like the dirty dozen and the clean 15 when it comes to produce. But if you've gone your whole life eating conventional produce and you're fine, then why would you start spending more money to buy organic produce now? Like realistically, during your 4 years of university or college, were you really shelling out those extra dollars to spend on organic produce? I think not. So if you've done it for this long, just don't start buying organic now, honestly. Now, before we go, I just wanted to end off with the reason why I created this video. When you guys are going about your health and fitness journey, especially if you're a beginner, I just want the process to be the least complicated possible. And I just feel like there's so many myths floating around on the internet that make things more complicated than they need to be. My advice is to not get caught up in the little things that won't make much of a difference. For example, meal timing. If you're fueling your body adequately and getting balanced macronutrients, getting your fruits and veggies in, and getting daily movement, then you're on the right track. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and sticking around to the end. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe if you're not already, and give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And with that, I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.